by Tool's gleeful accounts and delivery.
I mean, like, to look at that in general is kind of messed up. Like, I don't think I could just kill any. Like, I try to, like, not even step on ants on the ground, okay? What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Kaz. We're back. We are doing another top 10 today. I don't even know if I want to, but, you know, we gotta. We're doing a top 10 disturbing interviews with killers. So this is going to be different. Let's drop them a like. I know the Watch Mojo. May as well just drop them a sub there because, you know, they do a lot of top 10 stuff anyway. But this, I don't know what to expect. You know, killers are killers. You know, it's not really, you know, it could be some touchy subjects. So if you guys don't want to watch that, please just tune it out. Or just click off the video, one or the other. But yeah, we are going to do it. 10 disturbing interviews with killers. Let's get into it. I don't even know, guys, what to expect here. These guys are just gonna say some things that are gonna give you like cringy, chilly type vibes. So maybe, I don't know. Let's go.
Believe me, if I started murdering people.
Whoa, bro, this guy has it right in the middle of his forehead. That is bold. That's.
Believe me.
Was that 1952? No, it can't be. This doesn't, like they didn't have color then, did they? I don't even know.
If I started murdering people,
crazy,
there'd be none of you left.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're taking a look at 10 disturbing interviews with killers.
You admit to being evil, Richard?
Guys, if you haven't even subbed to these guys, go do that. Go sub to the Mojo, Watch Mojo, because they just have a lot of information and a lot of videos and like things like this that are just gonna blow your mind.
Are all evil in some form or another.
For this list, we're looking at instances where accused murderers chilled our bones with statements or body language during interviews. Did any of these moments freak you out? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. John Wayne Gacy. The Netflix documentary The John Wayne Gacy Tapes did a lot to point out the notorious serial killer's sociopathic tendencies when it came to shifting blame for his accused crimes.
Shoelaces, huh? You're in trouble now.
Yeah, right.
Aren't you afraid sitting that close to me?
This wasn't the first time evidence to that end has come out, however, as documented by this piece from CBS News 2 Chicago back in 1992.
I don't believe in hitting children. I don't believe in spoiling a child either. My values are such that if you give enough love to the children.
You're accused of murdering 33 kids and you say you didn't believe in hitting.
Interviewer Walter Jacobson doesn't need to do much talking in his encounter with Gacy, as it quickly becomes clear that the former Pogo the Clown is trying his best to present alibi after alibi for his innocence.
Bukovich is not one that I killed, so I don't know nothing about him.
Bro, how can you sit there after being accused, or, you know, like there's bear movies and documentaries about this guy, but like either way, how can you just sit there and like say that? Like, that's wild. I don't even know. Like, that's like what the double standard, or I don't even know what to call that. Like,
it quickly becomes clear that the former Pogo the Clown is trying
it's like an oxymoron.
his best to present alibi after alibi for his innocence.
Bukovich is not one that I killed, so I don't know nothing about him.
Gacy himself is composed for the most part, although there is a moment where he demonstrates his infamous rope trick with a shoelace that echoes the methodology of his horrible crimes.
And you just turn this, and I says it causes a tourniquet. I said that's the only knot I ever learned.
Precisely the kind of knot found on the ropes.
Number 9. Ted Bundy. Time can change many things
Okay,
about
so these like, okay, so they're basically going to be all serial killers, I'm guessing, because so far that's what it is.
a person, including how they behave while being interviewed. The Ted Bundy featured in a 1977 jailhouse interview from KUTV News appears more in line with the suave yet cold-blooded reputation Bundy had among other notorious serial killers.
You feel that everything will turn out all right, that you are innocent. Do you still feel that?
Yeah, more than ever.
He smiles a
Wow, this guy is creepy. Just the way he talks. And I heard, like, this, I'm pretty sure he was the one that was, like, a politician or whatever, and he just kind of, like, it was just unexpected, or I don't know. He would just sweet-talk girls and all that. But, bro, this guy just seems kind of creepy from afar, just saying. just from this
during the piece, and displays body language that appears relaxed and almost happy.
I'm not guilty. Does that include the time I stole a comic book when I was 5 years old?
Bundy keeps eye contact with his interview throughout most of their conversation, and it's easy to become lulled into a false sense of security, which was exactly Ted's intention.
If someone's crazy enough and nutty enough to do something like that, I can't stop them. There's nothing I can do.
Fast forward to the night before his execution, and we see a fearful and pensive Ted Bundy, a man seeking to shift blame for his crimes during his interview with Christian conservative evangelist James Dobson.
There are forces at loose in this country, particularly, again, this kind of violence.
I didn't even know he was executed, so that's crazy. Like, it's just wild. Like we don't have that here in Canada, you know, so I wouldn't even know what to kind of like take in about that. But like, this guy clearly did some crazy type stuff, and for him to still be denying it, and then like, you know, I guess I don't know what he's going to do in this little clip here, but
crimes during his interview with Christian conservative evangelist James Dobson.
There are forces at loose in this country, particularly, again, this kind of violent pornography.
Really, man, you guys had to do this? Like, he just seems so like normal in a way, but like in a creepy way, you know what I mean?
The Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, may be one of the most frightening serial killers of all time, not only due to the brutality of his crimes, but also the projected aura of what many perceive to be pure evil.
Yes, I am evil. Not 100%, but I am evil.
It's easy to see why during some of Ramirez's more notable interviews.
Okay, I mean, I feel from this, and I'm not relating, so don't even look at me like that, but I'm just saying, when he's like saying, what I've got from that is like, everybody has a little bit evil in them. You know, not everybody's perfect. Not everybody's an angel. You're going to be good or bad. You're going to make bad and, you know, good and right decisions, like right and wrong, you know, whatever the case is. But
he perceived
this is like just creepy to watch, though.
To be pure evil.
Yes, I am evil. Not 100%, but I am evil.
It's easy to see why during some of Ramirez's more notable interviews over the years, including one conducted with author Mike Watkis.
Serial killers do on a small scale what governments do on a large one. They are a product of the times, and these are bloodthirsty times.
Ramirez's somewhat tense responses to Watkis's questioning imply a coiled rage, an anger that's also exemplified by the Night Stalker's breathing as he seems to become annoyed with Watkis.
I'll tell you what, I gave up on love and happiness a long time ago.
Why?
I don't care to explain that. Let the quote stand for itself.
Ramirez is comparatively more relaxed during a piece with Inside Edition, although that interview also hammers home the Night Stalker's obsession with Satanism, evil, and the occult.
This guy's next level.
In the evil in human nature.
Bro, look how like just evil he does look. Like, I don't know, man, he just looks, he has like that look in him.
Wicked world, and in a wicked world, wicked people are born.
Number 7, Edmund Kemper.
Oh, this dude. Okay, so I'm watching like this TV show, Mindhunter or whatever, and Edmund Kemper. Wow, he looks exactly like the actor, which is kind of like the actor looks exactly like him, which is kind of weird, kind of crazy actually, that they got him down to a T.
Truly bone-chilling about the matter-of-fact way in which the...
So this guy here, he was like, he wanted to be a cop, very like, you know, and he chilled with cops at bars and like all types of stuff like that, which is insane. And then he just conducts himself in a way where he just seems normal as well, which is like crazy.
Co-ed killer, Edmund Kemper, describes his past in the 1981 documentary The Killing of America.
Everything went towards killing him, and I didn't. But I'm saying, wow, it's uncanny. It was almost like it was meant to be that way. And I said, wow, this got to stop.
Kemper's impressive intellect and well-spoken nature belie the brutality of a man who committed his first murder at the age of 15.
And if it had been in a city, I would have been a mass murderer at age 15. I would have killed until they gunned me down. I wouldn't have been able to reason my way out of it.
The killer even makes a self-referential joke to his modus operandi of picking up hitchhikers by putting on a pair of glasses and asking the camera whether they would get into a car with him.
Now, would you get in the car with this man? Huh?
Kemper's mental state comes across as perpetually active,
Bro,
like
what?
a bubbling pot of water about to boil over, while the documentary's
wild.
exploitative narration pushes the creep factor of this one over the top.
I am an American, and I killed Americans. I am a human being, and I killed human beings. And I did it in my society.
Number 6, Jeffrey Dahmer. There's no barely...
Bro, all these guys listed so far are like... It's crazy because like you never know. Like I used to do door-to-door sales, for instance, and I'd be knocking on 150 doors a day, going into houses and stuff like that. And I've probably come across killers like and not even knowing it, which is kind of crazy to think about, but...
repressed rage within the demeanor of Jeffrey Dahmer as he discusses his history with interviewer Stone Phillips.
And I acted on my fantasies, and that's where everything went wrong.
Nor are there any wild headline-grabbing theatrics. Instead, Dahmer's quiet and soft-spoken recounting of his horrible crimes lends the piece that much more power.
The only motive that there ever was to completely control a person that I found physically attractive.
There's the power of shock as he discusses the failed attempts at creating, quote, living zombies with the remains of his victims.
The killing wasn't the objective. I just wanted to have the person under my complete control.
There's also the power of how Dahmer's moments of shocking violence are undercut by the killer's regret for the decisions he made, and the futility of what seemed to be a date with infamy and destiny.
Once it happened the first time,
it's crazy,
it
man,
just seemed like
that these guys
I had
get like
control of my life
news
from there on
interviews
in.
about this
Number
stuff.
5, Gary Ridgway. Gary Ridgway,
Don't know this
aka
guy.
the Green River Killer, was one of the most prolific of all American serial murderers.
Well, I whipped out my ID, and with my ID would be I put my finger over my driver's license to hide my name.
Ridgway was also perhaps one of the most unrepentant, a sentiment that's placed front and center during any of his interviews.
A picture of my son. They would know I was probably a normal person.
Take, for example, one he did with FBI psychopathy profiler Mary Ellen O'Toole, where he very calmly describes how he would gain the trust of his victims.
Oh, wow.
The only thing that would be better than that would be to have your son in the car with you. That would be a incredible ruse.
That happened once.
O'Toole manages to get Ridgway talking in depth about his past, his upbringing, and the dozens of victims
that's
attributed to the
next
Green River
level.
Killer's rampage. Number 4.
That is like next level, like premeditated thinking type stuff, bro. Can you imagine like you're utilizing your children to get into people's minds? That's like when guys utilize their dogs to get a girl. Like, I don't know if it's a good analogy, but it's just weird. It's like, why? I don't know. That's next level.
Charles Manson. There has been a wealth of
This
interview
guy.
footage of Charles Manson
Crazy
released over
too,
the
man.
years, much of which can be used as evidence for the man's often unhinged persona.
Do you feel blame? Are you mad? Do you feel like Woods Kebab's right
And there's a lot of that here from this 1987 interview with Today correspondent Heidi Schulman.
I wouldn't do anything that I felt guilty about.
You don't feel guilty at all?
There's no need to feel guilty. I haven't done anything I'm ashamed of.
However, there's also this intent to shatter the myth of Manson as a leader, and this is aided by the visual of Manson's scattershot presence during the interview.
Maybe I should have killed 400 or 500 people, then I would have felt better. Then when I felt like I really offered society something.
Although the occasionally violent outbursts by Manson have been well documented in this piece, it's the more soft-spoken sound bites that reveal more about the man's own admitted failures and shortcomings.
My awareness and my consciousness is
Bro,
not the
this guy
same
is-
as somebody that goes to school and has a mom and dad. See, not having parents have left me
Like
in a-
this is like you see this and you would think it's a typical type of like crazy type of guy. Like he would be like a serial killer, you know? Not like some of these other guys you've seen that are just like normal looking dudes and conduct themselves in a way where you would be like, what? Like how? But
another dimension, so to say.
The best business to start in
oh
2020.
my. Is not this one, that's for sure. Nope.
Cool.
Me in another dimension, so to say.
Number 3, Otis Tool.
I like to see
Don't know this guy.
a whole city burned down.
This interview with Otis Tool is the stuff of nightmares. There are a lot of reasons for this too, not the least of which is Tool's explosive bursts of laughter and absolutely chilling smile.
What do you prefer in life? Sex or fire? Well, I like both.
Additionally, there's the explicit nature of how Tool describes his past crimes, and how he and former associate and fellow killer Henry Lee Lucas seemed to easily disassociate the value of human life.
I think he's like smiling and laughing because he's so into himself and so into like how he like that people are fascinated by his story and he likes to tell it. And maybe that's why he's just really enjoying telling things about himself, you know? That's kind of what I would think, but
how Tool describes his past crimes, and how he and former associate and fellow killer Henry Lee Lucas seemed to easily disassociate the value of human life.
It's just like butchering a hog, you see, a cow. Ain't no difference.
The grainy and blown out AV quality of this interview footage only seems to add to the feeling.
I don't know. I mean, like I always try to play devil's advocate, like look at both sides, and like for him to be like, oh, it's just like butchering a cow or blah, blah, blah. A lot of people might agree with that. Like a lot of people might be like, yeah, because like I would never kill an animal. Like me personally, like if we were in the wild running around and we had to like get our own food and back in the caveman days, I personally would think I'd be like a vegetarian unless somebody like offered me it or something like that. I don't think I could go. Maybe, who knows? But for him to like look at that as like a normal thing in today's society is kind of messed up. Like that's messed up. That's why he is where he is.
Of grime and filth left over by Tool's gleeful accounts and delivery.
I mean, like to look at that in general is kind of messed up. Like I don't think I could just kill any. Like I try to like not even step on ants on the ground. Okay, like even if there's like a spider in house, I try to capture it and toss it outside. You know, like.
Ain't nothing to it. Just like drinking a cup of coffee, smoking cigarette. Once you get into the habit, you do it more and more.
Number 2, Issei Sagawa.
でたまたまそれが肉屋さんの旦那さんと奥さんで太って愉快な、ご主人でしたけど、動物の解体の仕方とか肉の切り方とか詳しく教えてくれました。
Unlike the majority of our other entries, Issei Sagawa isn't technically a serial killer. However, this interview footage from Vice is too disturbing not to make our list.
でも彼のおかげで、ロンダにエッチな気持ちっていうかこうセクシ
Sagawa's history and dark deeds are detailed in the documentary, while Issei himself describes the premeditated shooting and devouring of his classmate René Hartefeld while he was living and studying in France.
This
guy like in jail?
Sagawa's obsessions are also detailed in the piece, as well as the legal loopholes that allowed the killer to escape prison time for his actions. Sagawa's quiet and fragile demeanor undercuts his words, all spoken in equally hushed and inoffensive tones. It is a frankly horrifying and
I read that down there, like he became like he wanted to eat, like that's
believable story.
Bro, why? Why?
Sagawa's quiet and fragile demeanor undercuts his words, all spoken in equally hushed and inoffensive tones. It is a frankly horrifying and unbelievable story. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional.
I mean, like, if you think you could, like, if it ever came down to it, if it was like you and somebody else, it's like that last, you asked the question, like, would you give away the last, would you fight for the last piece of meat? Would you, go to the death? Like, I don't know, man. Like, those are like life and death situations, but like, for him to be eating people, like what makes you want to eat somebody, especially if you fantasize about them like sexually? Like, I don't
Ring
know,
the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Oh, the last one's coming up. Oh, that girl looks...
Number 1, Eileen Waros. This interview with Eileen Waros on the eve of her execution is disturbing for a number of reasons.
I'm okay. I'm okay. God is going to be there. Jesus Christ is going to be there. All the angels and everything.
For starters, there are the crimes for which Waros was convicted, but there are also the stories Eileen tells about her treatment in prison.
They had the intercom on in the room, and they kept lying that it wasn't on, and they were using sonic pressure on my head since
This girl's just like literally crazy, I think. Like actually.
1997.
Her accusations of sonic torment and food tampering speak to her paranoia and mental state during this time.
And then one day I didn't wash my food off, and I was sick for 3 weeks, almost died.
A state that gradually reaches a fever pitch during the interview.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I lost my life because of it. Couldn't even get a fair trial.
Warnos's face as she directly addresses the camera is chilling, and the audience can only stare back into her eyes as the condemned killer accuses society.
I know, like look at the like shape of her eyes and like the wrinkles and everything. It just looks like there's like a demon inside of her or something, man. Like it's actually like spooky.
Of quote railroading and quote sabotage. Addresses the camera is chilling, and the audience can only stare back into her eyes as the condemned killer accuses society of quote railroading and quote sabotage.
2019, Iraq's supposed to hit you anyhow. You're all gonna get nuked.
Do you agree with our picks?
Well, it's 2023 or 2024 coming up, and we haven't gotten hit by Iraq, but hopefully that doesn't happen. You know, hopefully. Either way, guys, this was a little different. This was a little chilling, and you know, I don't know if I haven't done a video like this before, so who knows? Who knows where it's gonna go? But either way, let me know in the comments down below if you guys want me to do a different top 10. We will do it. I've just been doing random ones, and yeah, we've been exploring. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.